Okay, this is my first attempt at a YouTube video, so I apologize in advance for any poor camera quality or any voice quality. But I'm going to show you how to put this motor in this power door lock assembly for on a 2014 Scion Xb, and hopefully save yourself a little bit of money. This motor cost about, I think it was $12 on eBay. But anyways, first thing you do is open the door up naturally, and then you take a screwdriver or something, put behind this cover here. I've already got it a little bit loose, and just pop it loose. And you have one connector here, and the tweeter cover comes off of there. And I don't know how you can see it or not, but there's one little bitty push thing there. You push with a little screwdriver. I'll push with my index finger now to unplug that connector. And next thing I'm going to do is pry up this cover here with the armrest and to take off the power window buttons there. Just pop it loose and it just lifts up. Again, I apologize for quality. Just trying to record with one hand and do the work with the other. And it also has one connector, and it's got a pin on this side here, right there by my thumb. You gotta push it down and unplug that one connector. All right, the next cover I'm gonna pop off is this little cover right here by the door handle. Just take something in there and pop it loose, and it just comes off like so. And I think that's all the pop-offs for right now. Okay, the next thing I'm going to take off is the two screws. One that was behind this cover that I just popped off by the door handle, which is right here. And you take it loose here, take that screw out. And then the other screw is where I popped off the, where the window controls were, the one screw here. Again, I apologize for any poor camera quality. Trying to do this with one hand and video with the other hand. And that screw there is out. And at this point, you can reach under here and under the bottom of the door. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a hand grip right there. And just, once you get that out, just pull it. And it just kind of pops loose. And slowly lift the door. I can't slowly lift it off, because you'll have to take the door handle control there loose from the door panel. And it's not that difficult. You just got to kind of push it. It's kind of hard to film it and do it, but anyways, you'll hopefully get the gist of the idea of it here. It just kind of releases here and pops loose like so. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is just disconnect the power cord from the power lock there. It's just a little push connector there on the inside of that, and it just unplugs. And next thing I'm gonna be taking off, just to give myself a little more room, is this piece of metal right here, and just two screws. Okay, that little metal plate's off of there. Next thing I do is pull back this rubber here, the seal. Just pull it back open, and just note how the cables are coming through there, so you can reroute it much easier. So you just kind of pull it back to get it out of the way, and then pull that cable back up through there. I'm gonna pause it and do that. Okay, next thing I do is I got that cover off out of the way. Next thing I'm gonna do, if you're coming straight down from the connector here, the first bolt you see, take it out with a 10mm socket. And I'll show you why in here in just 1 second. Let me get this here out, this one bolt. Nothing's gonna fall, no need to be worried. And it's very easy to put this back when I'm fixing this. It's a guide for the window. And just to give you a little more working room inside of the door, as you'll see why in just a few minutes on why we need this. And you just take this window sign, you slide it down just a little bit, and you lift it up here, and just sit it on the metal bar right there. And the next thing I'm gonna be taking off is this door lock mechanism, and I'll explain why in just a minute. To get this door lock off, just take this little cap right here, and you take it off like so, and you got a screw which is a Torx 30, I believe, which right there you got to take out. Right there you got to take out. Yes, it is a Torx 30, and you don't have to worry about dropping the screw because there's little plastics keepers in there to keep the screw from falling down into the door. So don't worry about taking the screw all the way out. Just loosen the screw till it won't come out anymore, until you can't loosen it anymore. Just make sure it's all the way loose. And that looks like it. And at that point, you should be able to take this door piece here, if I did it good enough, and take the door lock out of the car, and that goes into the door mechanism that we're fixing to replace. Next thing to take loose is these 3 screws here, and they're also Torx 30, and that's going to take this door lock mechanism out. So it's going to come out where you can pull it out from inside of the door. Okay, I got those 3 screws out. Now I'm going to attempt to get it out of the door here, just like so. And that's why you took the window handle up. Window guide up, I'm sorry, I had the window guide up and set it up inside the door there. But now you got the door lock mechanism out where you can replace the motor that's in there that causes the reason it won't lock and unlock with the electronic. What I do here, just to give myself, so it won't quite be so awkward, is take the cables off the door. All you gotta remember is the yellow one goes to this one, and the blue goes to the bottom down here. And to get this cover here open, you have to pry open here and open that up. To pry that open, sometimes it breaks off. That's something it'll snap back on there. It'll stay back on there. And to get the blue cable out, you just lift up on it, pick up on it, and it comes out. To get the yellow or the green, you lift up here, rotate it around, and now the cable's off out of your way. And that little motor we're going for is right here under this cover here. And to get to that, you have to loosen these clamps here. You won't take it all the way apart. Just loosen these little clips around on this mechanism here, and take this one screw here out. But loosen it up so it'll open up a little bit, and I'll show you just in more detail after I get those clamps loosened here. So I get this one screw here that I'm loosening and taking it out. It does have to go back. That just to allow you more room in there a little space, I'm sorry, to pry this thing open. Oh, you do have to take this little top piece right here, and there's a connector at this little top piece here. Across the top, it comes off very easily. You got a clip there, and you have a clip here. And it just kind of pops off of there, like so. And it's just, to cover up some of these other little connectors. And you just pry these here loose. I can't do it in film too, but I'll start back up here in just 1 second. Okay, now I kind of open these up a little bit here. These clamps all the way around from here, around the side here, and down to here. Now I'm going to open this up just a little bit, and the motor is right inside of there. I'm going to try to prop this phone up here. Hopefully you can see it. I don't think you can, and I ain't got but 2 hands. So, but anyways, you pry it open just enough. I'm gonna have to pause it to get this motor out of there, but the motor is right there. You can see the motor right in there. Okay, and the motor comes off. It comes out like this. And there's no way to put it in wrong, because there's two plugs here, and there's no wiring. It just pops up. There's 2 pins inside of here that the motor sits down on. If you can see, those pins are not in there, and the motor sits right down on those pins. And as far as the worm gear off the end of the motor, it just slides off. When you order your motor, the one's description for the 2014 is just a 10 millimeter shaft with a D shaft, and it's 10 millimeters long. And I'll get you the eBay site here in just a second to try to put it on here. So I got the motor. It's just this slid the worm gear on this top of this motor. I'm gonna plug it back in there the same way I pulled it out. Just the connectors here on the bottom go on those pins inside, and then put it back together. Okay, so I got the motor in there. And what I would recommend doing before you put it all back together is plug it up and kind of set it somewhere where you can watch that little wire where the one wire goes in there, and then manually plug up your the door lock, the power lock mechanism in your car, and then try locking it, and that should move, and unlocking it, locking it, unlocking it, locking it, unlocking it, locking it, unlocking it. And I see the motor fixed my problem. So it's actually, I thought $12 motor I'm starting is actually like $6 or something with change. But again, I'll announce the website here in just a few minutes. I'm going to try not to mess up and hit finished again until I get done, so I can show you how to reassemble this thing. When you get these back in, just make sure you kind of press these back over. Just kind of hold this here together, and you can disconnect this, so we can put the other part so we can get it all back together here. I'm gonna disconnect this and put it back together. Okay, first off, I'm gonna put the screw back in here that came out of here. And anytime you screw a screw into plastic, you may already know this, but in case you don't, you rotate it backwards until you feel it drop in. And once you feel it drop in, then you tighten it down. That prevents you from cutting new threads every time you screw into plastic. So you just tighten that there back down, and we got that tight. And the next thing you do is just put this little cover here. It just snaps right back on here over the top here, and it's just very simple. Just it goes on like so, and it pops on there. And in case you're wondering about the paint, so if you notice, one time before I bought one from the junkyard and replaced the whole assembly, but it didn't last long either, so I figured I'd just go ahead and get a new motor this time instead of going through the junkyard or spending $60-80 for or $100+ on these things from the dealer. Anyways, now we're gonna put the cables back on it. You can start with either cable you want to. I'm just gonna start with the blue one because that's the one I grabbed, and just kind of tilt it up at an angle. And I hope I'm getting this. Like I said, it's hard to watch this and watch the camera and get the cable in there, but just kind of tilt it up at an angle and lay it down. And just make sure that the blue part goes inside of here before you push it all the way back down. I mean, it'll pop back in there easily. And once you get that on, blue part in, then you take the little cover here. See, it was originally hinged, but I've opened it once or twice, it breaks right off there, but it snaps right back in place. So you don't have anything to worry about staying on there. So you snap right back in place there. And then the yellow cable, just reverse what we did before, is we just take it, and I'm trying to do this with one hand. I apologize for the video quality, but anyways, you get the gist of it. It goes in here and twists that way, and the cable fits in the groove there. Oh, the door lock. The reason why we took the door lock out, the first time I did this, I didn't take this part out, and it was a very, very, very hard getting this lock assembly back in the car with this. It's still in there because this goes in from the outside, and this here mates up with this part of the lock, so you can lock it and unlock it from the outside. Okay, I sure hope I can figure out how to link all these videos. But all right, we got it all back together, and now we just got to put this back in the door. And remember, the cables are coming out from the top hole, so you just sit it down in there. I'm about to put this down so I can get it in there. Or maybe I can do it one-handed. Let's see how easy it is here. Oh, wait a minute. First, I got to put that window lever that I rolled out of the way before. It fell back down in there. Or that window guide. So I'm just sitting that back up there like so. Then I take the door lock, and it comes in from the bottom and just sits in there. Oh, you got a pin hole here. I'm gonna have to put this camera down to do this, because you got a pinhole here. It goes up inside the door there, that pinhole. There's a shaft. I don't know if you can see it or not. The shaft's coming down from the outside door handle. I'm trying to show you. I can't get to it. Anyways, there's a shaft coming down. That's the bottom of it right there. You can see my other finger. But that come down from the outside door handle. It's got to go in that yellow hole right there. So it's going to take two hands to do that.